What's up everyone, welcome back to another episode of 7 on Sunday right here on Beyond ARTV. Time for a long anticipated episode, one that you guys have been requesting. Rest assured, your requests have been heard loud and clear. I'm going to be talking about 7 of my all-time favorite cover songs, one that might just possibly top their originals. Now, I'm obviously saying this from my point of view, my opinion, no rioting because, oh, the song's not better than the original, John. Are you a madman? How could you possibly say that this song might be better? And in fact, I'll go out on a limb and say some of these I might actually like a little bit more than their originals. I'll be sure to let you know whenever I sound off my opinions and thoughts on these cover songs, but ranging all the way from Wolf Alice to Avril Lavigne to various other artists. We're gonna go back to older times, newer times, and see who did great renditions of some classic and newer songs. Leave some of your favorite cover songs in the comment section down below. Hit the like button while you're here, and let's go ahead and kick off the countdown.
I said I loved you and I swear I still do. It must have been so bad, 'cause living with me must have damn near killed you. This is how you remind me.
Things might not have always been smooth sailing between pop star Avril Lavigne and her husband of the rock band Nickelback, Chad Kroeger, but she did actually cover on the Japanese edition of her self-titled album from 2015 one of his band's songs, How You Remind Me, and I really love this haunting rendition of the tune. Just mainly piano driven here, focuses on some echoed vocals, kind of an ambient sound to it, and it gives us a totally different perspective. How You Remind Me in and of itself is one of Nickelback's better songs. It actually peaked at the top of the Billboard Hot 100. Yes, that's right. Your favorite band, Nickelback, had a #1 hit on the Hot 100. Just keep that in mind next time you diss them. Avril's voice here sounds absolutely fantastic. Kind of a magical, haunting, eerie feel that it adds to the track. I could see this being used in like a film soundtrack or a potential score, maybe a really haunting scene of a television show or something like that, just because Avril put such a different twist on it. I've always thought that she was an insanely talented vocalist. I hope that she would do more stuff like this, more stripped back stuff, and whenever I accidentally stumbled across this in 2015, I knew that I had found something special. This is going to be the newest cover that we talk about on our list today, and it's by Panic at the Disco, their cover of Starboy by The Weeknd. Originally, kind of a funky R&B leaning tune with a really nice progression to it. I love Brendan Urie's voice on this track, just him sitting behind the piano, really vibing with this. I love the added guitars, and it kind of has a groovier, updated take on it. I dare say that it rivals it. Now, this track originally, when performed by The Weeknd, it took a little bit of time to go on me, but the first time that I heard this cover, I still wasn't in love with the original song yet. At this point, I think that's what really sold me on it, because I heard a different take, a different perspective, and I love how just playful almost Urie gets with this one. Very braggadocious. He does have an ego on him, and he is very equipped to handle a song like this. He really shows his talented chops on this one, just playing the keys, really belting it out on some vocal parts, adding some extra flair to the track, a lot of personality, a ton of persona. He's insanely talented behind the mic, and I absolutely love this rendition.
Doctor, if I could see you, stand for your healthy side. Yes, I disobeyed his orders, came to see you, but I found him instead. Yeah, now I don't mind cheating on me, but I wish you'd take that off of his head.
Call it what you want, but I've never been a Bob Dylan fan. But I echo the thoughts of others who say, you know what, I like his writing style, but I don't necessarily like him as a vocalist. I've just never gotten on board. I could have put him on that list of bands or artists that I could never get into, because he was always one of the classics that's held in such high regard and so revered that I can't really find myself to care about whatsoever. But some of the cover songs I've heard of stuff that he wrote, I've really thoroughly enjoyed, and this Beck rendition of the track leopard skin pillbox hat is no exception to that rule. This is such a fun song, and obviously it's Beck, so you know you're going to get a little bit of the quirk, a little bit of the randomness, and an updated take on it. The original was a little bit slower, I feel like, a little bit more brooding and not quite as fun, and obviously it was an older song. This is a fresh look at it. I believe this was like late 90s or else early 2000s whenever Beck put his fresh spin on it, and I think it's so thoroughly entertaining. It's kind of one of those captivating artists, just Beck as a whole, because you never know exactly what he's going to do, and he breaks out a cover of a Bob Dylan song, and it works this well. I dare say this one is much better than the original.
I'm on the pursuit of happiness, and I know everything that shines ain't always gonna be gold. Hey, I'll be fine once I get it. I'll be good. Hands on the wheel, fuck that. Hands on the wheel, kick drum.
Narrowing down my top 4 was extremely hard, but I finally landed on it after a bunch of shuffling through, landing stuff at different spots. We finally have clocking in at number 4, Lissy, with her cover of Kid Cudi's Pursuit of Happiness. The original is an excellent and triumphant track, kind of a summer ode to being phased by alcohol and various drugs, and I thought that the original was so good for Kid Cudi just because I would love to see more of this from him. He has forayed and stepped more into the rock territory, but with terrible results. Honestly, I think this is his best song. And this cover here even puts a better feel to it. I love what she does with various parts of this song, and it's not that her backing band here changes things up all that much. I think the guitar solo was maybe a little bit better. Obviously, this song is much more raw. It was performed in a live setting. I just think that she adds so much with her voice here, and just the shift where she's doing the hand on the wheel part. I highly recommend watching the entire cover of it, or else listening to it on Spotify. It's a phenomenal track, one that holds so much power to it just because she possesses such a talent with her voice.
I wish I could eat your cancer when you turn black. Hey, wait, I've got a new complaint. Forever in debt to your priceless advice.
I remember the day very well that my number 3 pick dropped, the cover of Heart-Shaped Box, originally by Nirvana, by Father John Misty, aka Josh Tillman. It was shortly after the release of his fantastic album, I Love You, Honey Bear. I remember listening to this thing on his SoundCloud over and over again. I think he took it down for a while. I think it was originally available as a free download. He ended up stripping it away. I don't know if it's back now, but I will definitely link to it in the description down below because you guys need to hear this thing. Originally, the song, you know Nirvana probably. It's very kind of grungy, very rocky, and I absolutely love the track. And I'm not going to say that this one is better than that, but it is definitely on par, and I love this interpretation of it. Whenever I love a cover song, it's not because they play it note for note and they just nail the exact same vibe and you can't even tell the difference between the two. It's whenever an artist or a band puts their fresh take on it. They get into the artist's brain and they're like, what could we draw from this and make it our own? How can we do that? How can we put a fresh spin on this? And with Father John Misty, he reaches in and takes this kind of soulful approach to it, just kind of an ambient, airy feel. There's a lot of reverb on the vocals here. Sounds like it was recorded in an airy room, just him and an acoustic guitar. It builds up, and I think the vocals are kind of nonchalant at the same time, if not apathetic, and I love that he's able to draw that and still make it a very, very powerful statement. It's almost like the words mean different things whenever it's Father John Misty singing it, but it's nonetheless still striking, still powerful, and still entirely captivating.
When the stiff winds blow, fans unraveling the body of special things to do. And I'm after this, I'm not. Consecutive transition with a level of separation. Oh, yeah. And the body of special things to do.
Let's go to the party of special things to do. Jack White is an insanely talented musician, and here he drew influence from one of his absolute favorites, Captain Beefheart, originally from the early 1970s, The Party of Special Things to Do. Now, the cover that I'm talking about today is mainly the one that was covered on the From the Basement television show. I believe this aired in late 2006. I saved this clip on my computer just because it's a little bit hard to find, and I cherish it so much. I find myself coming back to it late at night sometimes whenever I want to see a really really cool guitar performance, and they actually mashed it up with their own track, Blue Orchid. They're playing this just raw, really getting into it. I can see Jack White really changing between the pedals and effects that he's using here, and he breaks down into the party of special things to do and that fast-paced vocal style mixed with the weird guitars and Meg's kind of frantic drumming on this track. The White Stripes absolutely nail it. I highly recommend either listening to the iTunes version, maybe if you're rare enough and lucky enough to find the little record that they released. I believe it was a 7-inch. If you're lucky enough to find that, definitely get it if you've never heard this song before, or if you hear it and you absolutely love it. And if you do find it, maybe mail it to me, because you love your friend old John over here, and he's been desperately looking for it for quite a while now. Finally, we're here at my number one pick, and it's one that rose to the top very, very quickly on my list. I heard this not too long ago at all. Now, the original song in question is Wicked Game by Chris Isaak, now covered by the band Wolf Alice from the UK. If you guys know anything about me, you know that I love Wolf Alice, and somehow I had never heard this cover, but I was randomly on YouTube, kind of doing a little bit of research for this very video, listening to some cover songs that I really found myself enjoying, wondering what I would put on this list, and I stumbled across Wolf Alice's iTunes Festival performance from 2014. I did not know what I was in for whatsoever, because holy shit, this floored me, it blew me away. This cover is 100 times better than the original song, I dare say. Now, I am sorry to offend any of those who love the original version. I know it's been covered by so many people. It was originally used in a film. That's what got it popular in the first place. Kind of a slower, sadder song. But here, it's almost like Ellie Rossell of the band Wolf Alice puts this really desperate feel to it. And the band builds and builds, keeps you on the edge of your seat with the suspense before finally hammering you in the head with this payoff as the vocals soar, the guitars roar, the drums just go crazy on the track, and I really feel like it adds so much momentum to their live performance. Just that very set that they were performing there. I got a little excited and worked up whenever talking about my number one pick, but can you blame me? Go listen to the full thing. It's incredible. It's haunting. It's just, I can't give it enough praise. I hope you guys enjoyed that and all of my other picks today. Let me know your thoughts on it in the comment section down below, and keep in mind, you can check out these songs, stream them at the links in the description down below. Thanks so much for watching this episode of 7 on Sunday. Be sure to drop a like on the video today to let me know that you enjoyed it, and leave comments for other episodes that you'd like to see in the near future. You can find me on social media linked in the description. Last week's episode is right here, or another recent video from Beyond ARTV is right here. Click those little annotations, and I will see you guys very soon right here on Beyond ARTV.